Сайн байцгаана уу? Та бүхэнд өдрийн мэндийг хүргэе. 12 дахь удаага зохион байгуулагдаж байгаа Японд суралцах мэдээллийн цахим яармагт маань оролцож байгаа та бүхэнд их баярлалаа. Өнөөдөр ингээд зохион байгуулагдаж дуусж байгаа мэдээллийн яармагт маань энэ удаа Японоос 10 улсын болон хувийн их сургууль нэг байгууллага оролцож байгаа. Та бүхэн Идүү Жапан гэсэн манай Японы төвийн мэдээллийн яармагт зориулсан цахим хуудаснаас бусад оролцох сургуулиудын материалуудыг бас дэлгэрэнгээр нь үзэж танилцаарай. Сургуулийн танилцуулга одоо 1 цаг үргэлжлэнэ. Эхний 30-аас 40 минутанд бол сургуулийн танилцуулга явж дуусна. Үлдсэн 15-аас 20 минут орчимд асуулт хариултын цаг руу орох юм байна. За тэгээ та нар маань сургуулийнхаа танилцуулгыг бүрэн бүтэн үзэж дуусныхаа дараа асуулт Q&A гэсэн хэсэгт асуултаа бичээрэй. Одоо танилцуулга дундуур гараагүй танд хэрэгтэй асуулт байх юм бол бичээрэй. Тэрийг бидний сургуулийн төлөөлөгчнөөс асууж өгөх болно. За сургуулийн бас бусад сургуулийн танилцуулгын цагаас хоцорж орсон өмнөх сургуулиудын материалыг үзэж чадаагүй байх юм бол бичлэгийг тавих учраас Facebook хуудас болон YouTube төвийн YouTube цахим хуудас Идүү Жапан цэгийн цахим хуудас зэрэг бичлэгүүдийг тавина эх 7 хоногоос. Тэгэхээр та бүхэн нөхөж үзэх бол боломжтой юм шүү. За одоо ингээд бид ихэд Рицүмэйкан их сургуулийн танилцуулга орох гэж байна. Өнөөдрийн сүүлийн сургууль байгаа. За Ritsumeikan Daigaku yoroshiku onegaishimasu.
Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Kikoemasu ka? Hi. Welcome to Ritsumeikan University's presentation for study in Japan. Thank you all for coming. I am seeing numbers increase. I am very grateful for you all coming today. I'll talk a bit slowly because I know English is not all of our native language, but I want to thank you for coming to Ritsumeikan University's presentation today for Study in Japan Fair for Mongolia. So yes, as you can see on screen, I am from Ritsumeikan University. I am Jeremy from the International Admissions Office. So I am here today to introduce to you Ritsumeikan University, our colleges, and some programs that you can do in English. Obviously, if you have studied Japanese and you speak Japanese fluently, you may apply for our Japanese programs as well. First of all, this is Ritsumeikan University's logo, and in behind, you will see Ritsumeikan University, Kunigasa Campus's main campus. On screen now, you'll see a list of numbers that will give you a bit of an understanding of Ritsumeikan University. Ritsumeikan University is founded in 1900, so we are a very well-established university in Japan. We are also a very big university with 16 undergraduate colleges and 21 graduate schools. We are part of the top global university program. It's a special program by the Japanese government to support people like you, international students that want to come to Japan and study. Currently, if you come and study at our university, you'll study with 36,000 other students. So in Ritsumeikan, we have a big amount of students studying. I'll talk a bit more about the international students. We also have about 402,000 alumni across the world as graduates from Ritsumeikan University. We are mainly located in the Kansai region. So we are located in Kyoto, in Shiga, and in Osaka. People have pictures on screen here for you to imagine where we are in Kansai. If you look on the map, we are only about 2.5 hours to 3 hours away from Tokyo. We are in the west of Tokyo. First, I will introduce to you our campuses in Kyoto. We have Kyoto, and Kyoto is very famous for historical capital of Japan. It is the old capital about 1,000 years ago. It's very nostalgic to many Japanese people, and it's also a very student-friendly city. There are many universities, not just Ritsumeikan University, that are located in Kyoto. Ritsumeikan's Kinugasa campus, that is located in Kyoto, has 5 major colleges for undergraduates. Undergraduates can study in the College of Letters, the College of Social Sciences, the College of Image Arts and Sciences, and the College of International Relations and the College of Law. The programs that are conducted in English are conducted at the International Relations College of International Relations. Next, I would like to share with you about Shiga, our college in Shiga Prefecture. It is rich in nature. It is very industrial. So there's a lot of major corporations like Panasonic, Sony, and major science companies that also have operations in Shiga. But it's also a very relaxed prefecture with lots of nature. In the Biwako Kusatsu campus in Shiga, we have 7 colleges that operate out of this campus. We have the College of Life Science, Pharmaceutical Science, Gastronomy Management, Information Science and Engineering, Sports and Health Science, Economics, Science and Engineering. Information Science and Engineering conducts their program in English as well. Last but not least, I will introduce to you our Osaka campus. It's located in Osaka Prefecture, and Osaka Prefecture is known as a vibrant prefecture, welcoming with a very big mix of people coming from all across the world and across the country. It is also a very famous commercial hub, with many businesses also operating from Osaka. Our campus in Osaka is located in Ibaraki City, Osaka Ibaraki Campus. College of Policy Science, Global Liberal Arts, Business Administration, and Comprehensive Psychology operate from Osaka Ibaraki Campus. The College of Policy Science and the College of Global Liberal Arts operate English programs for as well as the Japanese programs. The Global Liberal Arts only operates English programs. As I mentioned earlier, we are part of the Top Global University Project, and we have been working with the government since a long time, since 2009 as well, to help internationalize Japanese higher education, so students like you can have opportunities and benefits to study in Japan. I mentioned before about international students. We have currently 2,462 foreign students. They are, and we have from 72 countries studying in Ritsumeikan. It's a lot of international students from across the world. What's also we can be proud for is Ritsumeikan University is a very, very internationally associated and connected university. We work together with 465 universities and institutions in 68 countries and regions, many across the world. We are also a very cutting-edge research university where we predominantly fund all our professors and colleges with research, including graduate school and master's and professors. We are ranked number 3 across the entire country in Japan for research in grants and aid from among the private universities. Yearly, we put a research funding of 1.3 billion yen into all our students and our professors and our faculty. We're also very active within the clubs and circles for our university. So our university students are also very active in their daily life, apart from studying and apart from their daily living. We have about 400 clubs and circles, and a lot of these are student operated and run. These are some pictures of our student activities, clubs and circles. Another great thing about coming to Ritsumeikan University is we try to provide accommodation as best we can. It is not common in Japan to have many accommodation for all students, but we do our best to provide international dormitories. We have 6 international dormitories, and they're located on or off campus, which is about 5 to 15 minutes walk away. If you ride a bicycle, it's even quicker. Fees are about from 36,000 to 60,000 Japanese yen per month. Ritsumeikan University is also pretty famous for our career planning support. We encourage all our students to start ahead as soon as they can. Maybe start asking around with the career planning support from your 2nd year onwards to ask about what should you do to prepare. We have an office that's helped with you for English program students as well as for international students in general to find employment in Japan after your study. Here are some examples of what we provide. There are regular seminars and regular workshops and guidance sessions for all these international students for yourself to find opportunities in Japan, or if you want to find it back home in Mongolia or overseas. Here on screen are some examples of where our students have gone to. Accenture Japan, our Air Nippon Airways, Amazon, for example, are big major employers that are operating in Japan. And we have graduates that go to these. But because we are a very research-focused university, we have students that head towards graduate schools as well. And our graduate school students go on to major famous graduate schools such as Oxford, including Duke, UBC, and not obviously some students stay on to Ritsumeikan to complete their masters as well. In the next following section, I'd like to introduce our English medium undergraduate programs. So here you can study in English. If you don't have Japanese ability yet, you can study these 5 programs. On the left of your screen, you'll see collaborative degree programs. And on the right of the screen, you see single degree programs. On the collaborative degree programs are special degree programs that Ritsumeikan, through our strong ties with international partnerships, we connect with other universities across the world to deliver a degree program that is transcending borders, which means you get a degree not just from Japan, but from the country that we work with as well. We have the Global Liberal Arts College, where it operates in English only, and it provides 2 degrees, one from Ritsumeikan University and one from Australian National University, and the JDP program, where it's one from American University in the US and Ritsumeikan University. On the single degree programs, you have your Global Studies major, and then you have your CRPS major, or we call Community and Regional Policy Studies major, and we have Information System Science and Engineering course. I'll go into detail following this. So the single degree programs are degrees that are just conducted at Ritsumeikan University. First, a bit of explanation more about the Global Liberal Arts program. The Bachelor of Global Liberal Arts and the Bachelor of Asia Pacific Affairs is a dual degree program that's conducted with the Australian National University. It's a special degree where you complete 2 degrees over 4 years. You can enter either in April or September. It's located in the Osaka campus, and when you are in Australia, you'll be at the Australian National University at the Acton campus. This program focuses on a few keywords. It's on screen now. Please take a look. And please also take note that these are areas where you can research when you enter the college. Why did we choose to work with Australian National University? It's Australia's #1 university. It's also 27th in the world, and it's the 9th in world for politics. These are some of the main reasons why we, as the Ritsumeikan University, want to work with them and deliver a world-class education for you. So you learn with the best of academics in the Asia Pacific region, and then you graduate with 2 degrees. So as you can see on screen here, you'll see some of your scheduling and how you look and how you study. So it looks quite interesting because from your second year, you're doing 2 degrees that are stacked on top of each other. And what's also special is you'll also be studying on campus. This, from all our accommodation, is the only college that provides on-campus international dormitory, which means you are only a few minutes away from classes and you study with everybody from your college together. It's at the OIC Global House. Next, I want to share with you the joint degree program. Now, this is a special degree as well that you're joint, where we're connected with the American University in Washington, D.C., which means you get a degree from American University and Ritsumeikan University at the same time. It is a Bachelor of Arts in Global International Relations. It's 4 years, which means you spend 2 years in Japan and 2 years in the United States. It's an April-only enrollment, and it's a very special cohort. A cohort is a group of students. There's only 25 students to enter this. These are the keywords that you'll be looking at studying. Why did we choose the American University? American University was founded in 1893, so it has the same history as Ritsumeikan University. It's also ranked 9th in the world for undergraduate IR programs. So they're pretty famous for that too. And they're also a very unique university that collaborates both with graduates and undergraduate students. And we love that. That is one reason why we work with American University, and several more reasons, obviously. Next, I'm going to explain to you about our single degree programs. The first and probably the most experienced major that we have is the Global Studies major. It's in the Osaka Campus located in Kyoto. This is the Bachelor of Arts in International Relations. It's a 4-year degree. All our degrees are 4 years. You can enter in April and you can enter in September. There's about 100 students per cohort per year. And these are the main keywords. Now, because it's a global studies, anything that you'd like to be interested in and it has a global context, you can study this major as well. But predominantly the main areas of study is international law, international human rights, United Nations, global environmental issues, gender issues, race ethnicity, and as well as global media, journalism, etc. Next, a very popular course as well. It's Community and Regional Policy Studies major. It's located in Osaka Campus, and it is September only intake. There's 40 students per cohort per year, and it focuses on a predominantly area of urban planning, community safety, developmental economics or development economics, environmental policies, global public policies, social welfare policies, and revitalization of rural areas. If you have a certain area that you already are interested in and you'd like to help the world in, and you want to focus on that, this is a good program to take. Last but not least, Information System Science and Engineering course. This is currently located in Osaka Campus. In 2024, they will be moving to Osaka Campus. The Bachelor of Engineering at the Information System Science and Engineering course is only an April entry. There's 50 students per year, and these are the main keywords. So even though you might be doing some computer programming, it's not all fully computer programming. You can do a bit of Internet of Things. You can be looking at business intelligence. You can be looking at robotics, and you can even be looking at artificial intelligence, or maybe even virtual reality, for example. Last and importantly, I'd like to explain to you admissions. How do you apply to Ritsumeikan University? Here are the key features for applying to Ritsumeikan University. All our applications and all our processes are online, including the interviews. So you don't have to come to Japan or take a test that's in Japan, for example. If you apply to the English medium programs, we will be looking at your English only. We don't look at your Japanese. You can study Japanese in Japan. If you have Japanese ability already, that's very good. Further, we have multiple application periods. You can apply many times throughout the year. The basic overview for all our applications in Japan, for English medium undergraduate programs for our Ritsumeikan University in Japan, we look at documents. You go online, you apply to our online application portal, and you submit application essays, academic transcripts, English test score, and your letter of references. If we would like to interview you, we will contact you, and we will do that online as well. And you will get your results online as well. And we will then send any documentation to you. If you have any questions about how to apply, definitely use the Q&A function as well. Obviously, a very important part of any presentation about university is what about scholarships? We have currently at Ritsumeikan University a tuition reduction for international students scholarship program. Currently, we are providing at least 20% tuition reduction to students that are international. This means you have to come to Japan as an international student. It's very simple. If you do very well on your application and your admission results, you can get 50 or 100%. This is important because if you can get that, you will then have no worry about your tuition for university. That is our scholarship to you from Ritsumeikan University. Please don't forget that this is just one of many scholarship programs that you can apply for after you're accepted into Ritsumeikan University. These scholarships are generally per semester or per year, so definitely check those out after you apply. Last, also not obviously an important part of what we would like to introduce to you is also our mini lectures and meet the students. If you have any time throughout maybe next week or even finding out more, I would recommend you to come to maybe the next one on October 16th. There'll be a mini lecture. This is short lectures that are run by the professors for you. So you'll be studying and you'll be learning at the same time. Please come to our website or the QR code on screen and register. Finally, if you think my presentation about Ritsumeikan University was quite good and you'd like to contact more, or if you have questions, you can ask the Q&A box and then I'll answer that for you. And you can also check our information here. Save that, keep that on screen. Go to our website. You can even call us. We are open from 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Japan Standard Time on weekdays. And we also do Instagram. Or if you want to have a one-on-one meeting, use the QR code on screen and come to our book a schedule with us. And one of us at the office will help you. So I hope my presentation today was clear, was great, and was easy to understand. If you do not understand anything from today's presentation, please be sure to use the Q&A function, and I can bring back some of the slides for you so that you can understand more. Thank you so much. All right, my presentation has now finished. I will then be going on to the question and answer section. So if you have any other questions and that you'd like to give, or if the question is written in maybe another language, don't worry, you can write in Mongolian. Our friends will help and they'll translate for me and I'll answer for you. Okay, first, let's move straight into the question and answers. I'll leave this information on screen. If you need any other information you need from the previous slides, please do tell me and I'll try to go back to the different slides for you. All right. First question we have here. Let me just pull it up. We have one question here called, is there any PhD or master program for life science or environment or something like that? Thank you so much. Yes, Ritsumeikan University has a PhD or master programs for life science or environment. But my biggest advice to you is to visit Ritsumeikan's website, look for the Life Science College or Environment College. You can even, if you're studying environment, you can go to the community, the Policy Science College and look for a professor. Majority of master's or PhD requires you to contact your supervisor before you apply. So please do that. Yes, we do have master's or PhD programs for life science and environment. Thank you for that question. Next question here. Do you have any teaching or education discover program for undergraduate? At the moment, Ritsumeikan does not have any teaching or special education discover program for undergraduate programs, English or Japanese. Please let me explain. In Japan, if students want to become teachers in Japan, there are other qualifications that they must be taken in Japanese. As such, we do not currently run those programs. If you are interested, I recommend for you to contact any of the colleges you're interested in and ask them if they can do anything about teaching. But we do not currently have any teaching program in English. Thank you. Does the architecture major have English program? That's the question I received in this question. Currently, the architecture program at Ritsumeikan University only operates in Japanese. It operates out of the Biwako Kusatsu campus, and it requires for you to study Japanese beforehand and take the EJU test before you apply. It is a very well recommended program. However, it does require some Japanese, as you will probably have to do some qualification tests in Japanese after you're doing that program. Thank you so much for your question. Please keep going on your question. I'll keep answering. We have a question here. How much it costs study in Osaka? That's a very, very good question. Now, in our website, in Ritsumeikan University website for admissions, we do have several sites, several information for you to take. I will put it onto chat for everybody. Just give me a few moments here, and I'll put some cost of living information or a cost of study. So here I'll put a cost of living into the chat box for everybody to see. So please take a look on the screen. Please take a look at there. It's very different for everybody. And I do recommend to understand that in Japan, different parts of the country have different costs of study and cost of living. Also, each university have different fees. So you have to check, as for example, in Ritsumeikan, you can check that financial info link that I provided for you and visit our website. We list all our tuitions and we list estimated cost of living as well. Thank you so much for that question. Let's see. This question here, is there a programmist scholarship? I'm sorry, I do not understand what programmist scholarship means, so I cannot really answer your question here. If you could like to maybe ask another question that could explain to me, I'm not 100% sure I can help you with that. Thank you. Okay, we have another question here. What is the difference between APU and Ritsumeikan? That is a very, very good question. Ritsumeikan APU, or Asia Pacific University, and Ritsumeikan University are basically sisters. We are both Ritsumeikan universities, but we operate differently. One operates in Beppu, or in Kyushu. We operate in Kansai, in the Kansai region, so Kyoto, Osaka, and Shiga. That's the major difference. Another difference that we have is our programs are separated by language. So if you want to apply to Ritsumeikan University to do study only in English, you can go do that. If you want to do in Japanese, you can do that. Whereas I think with APU, they have different programs where you can study in both English and Japanese, or Japanese and English. We operate differently. So it's always good to check both, but we are basically the same university, but we operate differently. So teachers that work there, they work there. Teachers that work at Ritsumeikan University work at Ritsumeikan University. Thank you for that question. Let's see. Hello. Okay, so I'm going to answer this question here. It says, what Ielts score does the school require? That is a good question. Now, if we are looking at our English programs, I will show you a link here onto your chat box. So please check the chat box there. We have a link to our how to apply section. Now, when you visit this link, you'll see a big page full of all that information, and then you can look at the minimum requirements for each college. So at Ritsumeikan University, all our English programs operate at different levels and different requirements. This is because the colleges have the freedom to choose. So I do recommend to check that out. We generally take Ielts, TOEFL, and Duolingo as our major English tests, but they are exceptions and they are different requirements. So I recommend you to check that. If you're looking into, let's see, other questions here, pull this question up. Any scholarships for master's or doctor program? I currently predominantly work with undergraduate programs, so I cannot be 100% from my answer for you, but I do know that there are scholarships for master's and doctor programs as well. You will have to contact the college to get your supervisor's approval, number one. Secondly, you'll have to apply to the application process for graduate programs. So let me pull out the link for you just a second here. This is only for students who are thinking about going into their master's or PhDs. scroll to the English-based doctoral or master's programs, and then you'll have to apply to your master's or doctor program. After that, then you'll have information about your scholarships. So the key, and the same thing for undergraduate or even master's or doctorate at Ritsumeikan University, is you have to first get the steps into the application stage. After you apply, then there'll be scholarships for you to look into. This question is quite simple. More information about tuition. Thank you. Well, I'll also put another link into the chat box for you to take a look. And it shows our English medium programs, fees, and tuitions. Now, in Ritsumeikan University, our fees are generally quite similar, including for the Japanese programs and the English programs as well. So this is a good ballpark or range of fees that you'll be looking into if you're studying into Japanese or English programs. We also have another question here called, is there any PhD programs for chemical engineering or electrical engineering? I repeat, I am dealing with mainly undergraduate programs, so I'm not 100% sure, but I do recommend checking that link that I provided before to go to either master's or graduate in English, and then check if they have any chemical engineering or electrical engineering. If you are planning to do your PhD program, it is paramount or very, very important for you to find your supervisor to do that first before you can attempt your PhD. So if they would like to do your PhD with you in English, you'll be able to do that. Next question here. Do you have a project management program in graduate school? Should I have a GRE score in master's degree? Again, I'd like to repeat myself there. If you are looking for project management, you would probably be looking at specific programs inside the master's programs. So I would recommend to check again what master programs are available per graduate school. And if you need GRE score in master's degree, let me again repeat for the GRE score here. The GRE score is a very America-centric program. You do not generally need your GRE score, but I would not say that you do not need it, because you have to check with the graduate school. Okay, let me finish that off. Next, I have some questions in Japanese. もしモンゴルから進学するとしたら、センター試験か必ず受ける必要ありますかっていう質問が一つあります。モンゴルから進学するですね。センター試験ですね。言語によって何を勉強したい言語によっては、センター試験っていうものはないんですけども、日本語で勉強すると EJU っていう、日本語大学入試試験っていうがありまして、そこを受験しないといけないです。英語でしたら、英語の手続きがありますので、そこの試験っていうよりは、英語試験があります。なので、言語によっては必要かもしれませんけれども、センター試験ではないです。で、2つの質問があります。奨学金は年齢制限ありますか？奨学金は年齢制限があるかどうかは、奨学金によっては変わります。基本的に立命館大学提供する奨学金では年齢制限はありません。でも、他の奨学金については、入試が合格した後に奨学金の案内など、そこの中の案内の中では年齢制限があるかもしれません。今の段階でまだ申し込んで、まだ出願してないっていう段階であれば、答えることは難しいです。では、3つ目、日本語の質問です。進学した後に学部を変更するは可能でしょうか？例えば、法学部に進学して3年生から国際関係学部に変更するなど。そうですね。学部変更は日本では 立命館の中でもなかなかないと思います。変更可能かどうかは、正直入学してから学部に直接話しないといけないと思います。私、入試担当としても分かりかねますので、難しいところは単位などの話になりますので、今のところ現時点では答えできませんので、もしよろしければ、今画面に表示されている E メールにどの学部に入りたいと、どの学部にもしかして変更するかという質問をメールしてください。この場面では私は確実の返事はできません。メールしてください。ありがとうございます。では、次の質問に移ります。Do you have any Mongolian students? If you have, how many of them currently? That is a good question. I understand that there's quite a few Mongolian students. I do not know specific numbers, but as I just mentioned in our presentation, we have about 2,700 students, and they're mainly from East Asia. So as you can imagine, there's actually quite a bit of students from Mongolia. So I would recommend taking a look at our website in our international section site. I'll put the website again onto the chat. Take a look at the chat. And then when you visit that website, sorry, just be a sec there, made a mistake. Let me pull that up. So you go to that website and you can find under international and you can look at the numbers for students. You might be able to find how many Mongolian students. I'm sorry, I don't remember right off my head right now. So yes, we do have Mongolian students. I do not know how many are currently here. Let's see. 日本語の質問ありますね。日本語で専攻していたら、そっか。2つになりますね。1つ目は、EJU のスコア何だったらアプライできますか？EJU のテストは、EJU の試験は、日本語のプログラムに出願するの必要条件となりますので、学部によっては、出願の情報は出願の情報は違います。ちょっと待ってくださいね。日本語でしたら、学部生は留学生入試っていう、外国人留学生入試っていう、入試方法がありますので、そちらの今、情報を今、チャットの方に載せますので、このリンクをクリックして、どこの学部が何が必要か、そこで確認してください。で、2つ目の質問が JLPT N1 なければならないですか？ JLPT は日本語の全体の質問なので、テストなので、基本的には立命館大学は EJU テストの日本語の主問の科目の方を重視になります。そちらの方に見ます。日本語の方を見ます。もし日本語の JLPT N1 をもうすでにお持ちの方であれば、EJU のテストは総合的に他の日本語だけじゃなくても他の科目も見ますので、そういうための試験になります。なので、EJU だけで大丈夫です。次に、英語の質問があります。What about the person who wants to study their subjects in Japanese? What requirements are needed? JLPT score とか。It's similar to the question I just answered a moment ago. If you are intending to study in Japanese, you'll be having to go and apply in Japanese. So you require some Japanese abilities beforehand. We do not really require JLPT, but we do require you to take an EJU test. The EJU test has Japanese included in the part of their test. So this means you'll then have to take the Japanese section, including some other subjects such as science, liberal arts, and mathematics. This then provides the overall test that can allow you to enter Ritsumeikan University and study in Japanese. So if you are already studying now Japanese, that's very good, but focus on if you want to enter Ritsumeikan University's degrees in Japanese to take for the EJU test. Next question we go. Hello, is there any life science postdoctor position available? I'm sorry, I thank you so much for this question, but we are here to do admissions, so I cannot really advise to you about positions available as a postdoctor or a researcher. I would recommend checking our Ritsumeikan University's websites and finding out if there's anything that's available, but at this stage, I cannot help you. Thank you for the question. We have more questions available again on our chat box here. So I'm then going to read these out and answer in quick succession. Number one, do you have a Japanese language course? Is it possible to get a scholarship or bachelor degree after language course? Ritsumeikan University is not a Japanese language school, so we do not provide Japanese language course. We only provide Japanese language study to students who already are on our English medium program. So if you're studying our English medium degrees and programs, you will then have access to Japanese language study. But it's not a Japanese language course. You will then have to apply. If you're going to do Japanese, you have to study Japanese beforehand, and then you can then apply for that. We do not provide scholarships because we do not have a Japanese language course for that. The scholarships are all available under the degree program, and that's based if you apply to the degree. Number two, do applicants need to respond to specific essay prompts? Yes, if you are looking for English programs, there'll be essays, including Japanese. There are questions that are provided in all the application forms that you have to then write and answer them. Three, do most students live on campus, or does the campus have its own Wi-Fi, or do we have our own Wi-Fi? Do we have to get our own Wi-Fi? First, Japanese students and international students generally do not live on campus. That is very uncommon in Japan. There are very, very little colleges that provide on-campus accommodation because Japanese is a small country. Japan is a small country, sorry. Yes, Ritsumeikan provides full 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi, so Wi-Fi is available to all students. So if once you become a student, you have free access to Wi-Fi. You do not need to get your own Wi-Fi. 4, is there a 100% scholarship for 4 years? I cannot answer if there's 100% scholarship for 4 years. You do have to apply to each scholarship one by one. Whether you get 100% or not is depending on the results of the scholarship. The tuition reduction scholarship that we provide, you can get 100% scholarship, but you have to constantly be the top and be studying, have the best grades that we can then provide 100% scholarships. But that's not a guarantee, and you also have to be looking at other scholarships as well. 5, does this university have any law major? Yes, we provide law major, but currently our law majors are done in Japanese. So if you're interested in coming to study in Japanese, please do to take a law degree, please do study in Japanese. Is it possible to get a scholarship on master degree for dentist? Currently, we do not have any medical school, so sorry, we do not have any dentistry degrees. 7, is the application fully online? For the English medium programs, it's fully online. It is completely fully online. For the Gaikokujin Ryugakusei Nyushi, for international students in the Japanese language, it is also done online, but you will need to send some materials by post. 8, is it possible to double major? That's a good question. We do not have double majors at Ritsumeikan University. You generally choose one major or a double degree. And last but not least, can I study economics in Japanese basis? Yes, there is an economics degree in Japanese basis. So you study in Japanese, studying the economics. Wow, thank you for all these great questions. I am completely going through all of them. That's good. Let's go on to the next question. Is there a G30 program at Ritsumeikan University? Thank you for this question. I'm going to speed up a bit because we have quite a few more questions left. No, we don't have a G30 program, but all our English degree programs are similar to the G30 programs that you might have seen before. It's not specific. We used to have a G30 program, but now they are all just English degree medium programs. Let's see. Can I take EJU in English for architecture program? I'm not 100% sure what you mean by that. The EJU itself is a Japanese test, so you'll have to do some Japanese. But if you think you're asking about taking the other sections of the test in English, please contact the EJU Test Center or JASO for that. If you can take those other sections in English, you should ask them. But generally speaking, EJU is a Japanese test. Okay. Okay, next one here. Is it possible to transfer from a Mongolian university? Now, if you're talking about our English medium programs or in general, our degrees in Japan, I haven't really seen many students transfer into a Japanese university. So I would probably say you have to ask. So please do email that. Let me bring that screen back up for all of you so that you guys can contact. Definitely contact us again and drop an email maybe there. I cannot give you an answer whether you can transfer from a Mongolian university. It is very much a situation that has to be considered or thought about, but I wouldn't put your hopes up high because I have not seen people transfer. Okay, let's see. Any language center, this is the question, any language center or institute cooperate with you in Mongolia if you want to get more information in Mongolia? I'm sorry, I don't really know specifically if we have a language center or institute cooperating with us in Mongolia, but I know that the study in Japan fair that you're currently attending has a lot of information about studying in Japan and language centers, especially about that. So I think that's we cooperate with that's this fair is what we cooperate with. So I do recommend asking them maybe about language centers. I don't really know at the moment, but that's who we cooperate in Mongolia for. So I definitely recommend asking the people that operate this fair for help on contacting language centers, for example. And then here we have another one. Can we take EJU test in Mongolia or online? I don't know about online, but I know that the EJU test is operated across the world. Again, we don't run the test. It's run by the Japanese University Entrance Examination, EJU. If they are currently operating that in Mongolia, then you can probably take the test in Mongolia, or if they have any online test, then you can do that online. But that's my best answer that I can give to you. The best thing is obviously studying your Japanese beforehand because the EJU test is in Japanese. And I do recommend studying some Japanese before you come to Japan if you want, even if you study in English, Basic Japanese is always good if you're living in Japan. These next two questions seem to be very similar questions, so I'm just going to answer them together. Can take EJU in English for architecture program? I just answered that. These are generally in Japanese, so please study your Japanese beforehand. We do not have an architecture program in English. Well, I think that's the same question again. Does the architecture program in English? No, we do not have any programs in architecture in English currently. Wow, that was quite a lot of questions, and I think we are right about the time. I will then pass it on back. I'm finished. もしまた日本語の質問がありましたら、モンゴルの質問がありましたら、チャットで皆さんのMOJC さんに聞いてください。日本語の質問もありましたら、ぜひぜひ聞いてください。あと2分ありますので、対応できるかと思います。もし他の情報が必要であれば、メールしてこのウェブサイトも見てください。My team and I, we work at Ritsumeikan University. We are always welcome to give you, help you with your email. We love talking to you as well, so feel free to call us. We also love making the one-on-one booking. Mongolia and Japan is only 1 hour difference, so I recommend if you can book a special session for yourself, and also take a look and ask those questions at the one-on-one conversation, and we'll be glad to help you. For sure, we'll be glad to help you. I think we have quite a few more minutes if you need to. We will ask MOJC if there's any other necessary questions. But yeah, thank you so much for asking those questions, and thank you so much for coming to these, to my presentation for Ritsumeikan University. once again, my name is Jeremy. I'm from the International Admissions Office. I can help you in Japanese and English for undergraduate. And for graduates, I can direct you to the right question if you need to be. Let's see. All right, I think that's about it. If anybody has any other questions, feel free to type it in. I will be available here for the next, I guess, 2, 3, 4 minutes. And I think the presentation today finishes at about 5:40. So anyone here available for more questions, feel free. But I think if that's it, MOJC will take over and they will announce anything they need to announce and close today's Study in Japan fair. It is a great time to see you. I personally think Japan is a great opportunity. I live in Japan now. I'm answering your questions in Japan. So do come to Japan and enjoy studying in Japan. I will leave this information on screen so that you can write it down and contact us further if you're interested in Ritsumeikan University. Thank you so much for chatting and sending those questions. Thank you for thank you so much for responding back. Yes. Wonderful. I'm looking at the chat right now. And thank you so much for all your questions, everybody. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming to the presentation. I appreciate you spending your time to take a look and come visit. We are, one of many universities, and it's great for you to come see and listen to me. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you for your response as well. Webinar is great to give information and great for you to come and ask those questions too. It's very great. Hope to see you in Japan.
Yeah, それでは質疑応答をこれで終了しましょうか。タンさん。
はい。
タンさん、ありがとうございました。お疲れ様でした。
こちらこそありがとうございました。
За ингээд 2 өдрийн турш бидэнтэй хамт байж мэдээллийн яармагт оролцсон та бүхэнд маш их баярлалаа. Одоо бид энэ оролцсон 10 сургуулийн танилцуулга болон 10 сарын 2-ын зохион байгуулсан элчин сайдын яам болон Японы оюутны дэмжих байгууллага JASO байгууллагын танилцуулга илтгэлийг бид эх 7 хоногоос YouTube сувгийн Монгол-Японы төвийн аль биесны хуудас болон Facebook дээр ингээд шеэр хийгээд эх 7 хоногоос ингээд танилцуулаад явах болно. Эдүү Japan цэгийн бас вебсайт нь бас орох юм шүү. Та бүхэн тэндээс нөхөж үзэж болно. За одоо ингээд дуусгаар нь санал асуулгын хуудас гарах хэрэгтэй юм шүү. Санал асуулгын хуудсыг бөглөөд өгөөрэй. Ингээ 2 өдөр байсан та бүхэнд маш их баярлалаа. Та бүхний Японд суралцах их эрдмийн аянд тань амжилт хүсье. Маш их баярлалаа. Баяртай.